Think about the last time you donated money, time, or even old clothes. Why did you do it? To help, to feel good. That psychology of giving is what drives nonprofits. Today, I'll be presenting my research on nonprofits, specifically those addressing homelessness in the New Jersey, New York area. I'll explain how nonprofits function financially, the psychology behind why people donate, and examples of real nonprofits that use these strategies successfully. Nonprofits are a huge part of the U.S. with nearly 2 million organizations. Over 16,000 focus specifically on homelessness and providing relief and support to those who experience it. Nonprofits don't exist to make a profit, but to serve a cause. Their money goes back into their mission. Nonprofits usually get their money from three main sources: regular people who donate, organizations or the government that gives grants, and companies that provide corporate gifts or sponsorships. But here's the key part. That money can come with strings attached or not. The money that nonprofits get can be restricted or unrestricted. If it's restricted, that money must be used for a certain purpose. If the money is unrestricted, the nonprofit can use the money for however they see fit, for marketing strategies, for providing relief, for campaigns. That difference really affects how nonprofits plan and operate. Their operations. Obviously, volunteers are very important to nonprofits, but they also have staff. There's also a board of directors that oversees the nonprofit's daily operations. Let's get into financial benefits. One of the biggest financial advantages is that nonprofits are tax exempt. That means they don't have to pay federal income taxes like regular businesses do. Because of that, more of their money can go straight into their programs and services instead of going to the government. Another benefit is that donations are tax deductible for the donor. If someone gives $1,000 to a nonprofit, they can lower their taxable income by that amount when they file their taxes. That makes people more likely to give. However, to keep this status, nonprofits must be very transparent. That means clear record keeping, annual reports, and following strict accounting rules so the government and the public can know exactly where the money is going. Now let's get into that strict accounting rules that I was just talking about. Nonprofits use something called fund accounting, which is different from regular businesses. Instead of focusing on profit, they focus on accountability. That means the money is separated into different buckets, each with its own purpose. For example, if someone donates to the scholarships, that money can't suddenly be used to pay for salaries. It has to stay in the scholarship fund. To stay accountable, nonprofits prepare four key financial statements. The statement of financial position shows what they own and what they owe. The statement of activity shows how much money comes in and goes out. The statement of functional expenses breaks down costs, like how much is going to programs versus admin, which is really important to donors. And the statement of cash flow tracks the actual movement of cash to make sure the organization can keep running day to day. Now let's get into the psychology. Why do people donate? When people decide to give, it's rarely for one reason. It's usually a mix. For some, it's altruism or empathy. They feel someone else's pain and they want to ease it. Many donors are also motivated by values alignment. If a nonprofit's mission reflects their personal beliefs, supporting it feels meaningful and right. A personal connection can make even more powerful, like knowing someone who struggled with homelessness and they want to help others in that same situation. Then there's the social side, validation and belonging. Seeing friends donate, being publicly thanked, or joining a community event makes giving feel socially rewarding. The key takeaway here is that the most effective appeal to connect a donor's emotions and identity to a visible, concrete result. And here's some strategies that nonprofits can use in order to get the donors. They want to win support by combining transparency, storytelling, social proof, and donor segmentation. They start with transparency, simple breakdowns of where each dollar goes and clear results, because seeing the numbers builds trust. Pair that with short, true stories plus a concrete outcome, like $25 can provide a meal for one person one night. The impact feels real, not abstract with that. Then add social proof, showing how many neighbors donated, volunteer counts, progress bars, or matching gifts, since people are more likely to act when they see others doing the same. And finally, donor segmentation, when they can reach out to everyone at once, but they're able to personalize the message to reach out to many different types of donors in one way. This chart from the Bank of America shows how older versus younger individuals feel on different topics. This shows why donor segmentation is so important, because in order to be able to reach the younger and older individuals, they have to personalize their message to appeal to both of them in the same way. Together, the put together the mix that speaks both to head and heart, reduce doubt, and make it easy for donors to say yes. Not every donor is motivated the same way, so nonprofits need to tailor their messages. Some people are moral donors. They care about the mission itself, and they respond to why the cause is urgent and ethically right. Others are more ego-driven. They like recognition, whether it's their name in a report or certificate. Social dynamic donors thrive on group experiences. Then you have FOMO donors motivated by urgency, deadlines, and matching campaigns. Relatable donors connect best to stories that match their own lives. Trust-based donors, they want clear numbers, financial clarity. Impact donors need to see the math, the cost per outcome, the before versus after results. And attainable donors are motivated by concrete results. Help us fund 50 beds by Friday. The single campaign must be able to reach multiple donor types. The trick is to make sure each donor sees a piece of the message that resonates with them. Now let's get into case studies on 5 homeless nonprofits. First, Covenant House. Covenant House is the largest provider of runaway homeless youth service in New York. They bring in about almost $300 million a year, and more than half of that comes from private donors, showing how donors are critical to them. They also invest heavily in fundraising, about almost $30 million a year. But at that scale, their investment pays off. They have partnerships with the NFL, Delta, and even NBA players to give them credibility. They are able to create empathy with youth stories, validation through big name partners, and trust through reliable outcomes reporting. Big platforms plus clear impact creates a broad and reliable donor base. Next is the Hoboken Shelter. They take a transparency first approach. They share specifics like 500 meals served daily, 50 guest house, which makes the need easy to picture. They highlight volunteer momentum too. Nearly 2,000 people gave over 12,000 hours last year. That's social proof that inspires more than action. Their message resonates with donors who value clarity, measurable results, and community participation. By publishing simple needs lists, they also make giving easy. The YMCA shows how nonprofits can frame themselves as more than fundraisers. Their messaging focuses on community and volunteering, not just donations. That's smart segmentation. Families, young adults, and seniors each see themselves in the mission. They also use a volunteer to donor pipeline. People start by giving time, then often move to financial gifts. Their appeals reach different donor types: togetherness for social-driven donors, recognition for ego-driven donors, and relatable stories for those who want to help with neighbors. With real stats backing it up, the YMCA grows lifelong supporters, not just one-time givers. Next is Homefront. Homefront in Central Jersey focuses on ending homelessness through self-sufficiency. They're known for sharing clear metrics, meals, housing, and people health. Their spending shows strong stewardship. About 73% goes to programs, only 5% to fundraising. That builds trust with moral and efficiency-minded donors. Their revenue mix is broad: individuals, in-kind gifts, and government grants. Though grants can be unpredictable. They also recognize donors publicly, appealing to those who value acknowledgement. Finally, the Apostle House in Newark emphasizes dignity and stability. Their impact is concrete: 356 people served through housing and 5,200 through their food pantry. They make costs tangible, like saying how it costs around $13,000 to cover one person in the shelter for 6 months. This is perfect for impact-driven donors. They also make giving easy with tools like Amazon registries and connect emotionally through resident stories. Outreach happens through social media, word of mouth, and local networks, keeping them rooted in the community. Social proof comes from events like Thanksgiving drives with hundreds participating. The big takeaway is that clear cause, easy giving, and authentic stories equal strong donor conversions. Across all these cases, one pattern is clear: numbers plus narrative win. Transparent financials build trust. Human stories create emotional connection. Specific outcomes like cost per meal or shelter net motivate action. Segmentation matters. Tailoring appeals to different donor types works far better than a one-size-fits-all. These matter too. The simpler it is to give, the more likely people are going to want to give. Social proof, like donor counts and progress bars, drives momentum. And for long-term health, nonprofits need to diversify revenue, invest smartly in fundraising, and always report back to the donors. Bottom line is, when nonprofits prove impact and help donors see themselves in the mission, donations grow, and so does their ability to serve.